So first point, physical anthropology. In understanding the role of environment in human evolution and reconstructing it. Like say for example, you take human genetics. Human genetics proves that all human beings are same. 99.9% of DNA in all human beings is similar. So it breaks the myth of race and racism, because earlier some people are of or some are considering that some races are superior and some races are inferior. That is discrimination based on skin color, and that is what is racism. So this studying physical anthropology breaks this myth of race and racism. So second point you can write. It bursts the myth of race and racism. Race and racism. So that is with respect to human genetics. Human variations also will include here only. Then you have paleontology that we have already written. Neontology, ethnology, these are all related to the earlier one only. Here you can write next point. It helps to prevent the spread of diseases and to construct various etiological models to prevent spread of diseases. Next, we have seen anthropometry. No, anthropometry is measuring human body parts, and this measurement, this type of study helps in designing clothes or footwear or something else. So next one, it helps in designing and manufacturing various equipment and protective clothing, protective clothing, garments, footwear, etc. Next, forensic anthropology we have seen. No? So there another point you can write. It helps in solving certain criminal and civil cases. So criminal cases are those which are involve murder or dacoity or rape or something. Civil cases include property related disputes or maybe parentage related disputes. So civil cases and criminal cases. So these are some applications of physical anthropology. We can write more, but I think that is sufficient. Next one, socio-cultural anthropology. See here, I'll just deviate for some time and then I'll come back to socio-cultural anthropology. No need to write. See, like there are two schools of thought, like British school of thought and American school of thought. So British school of thought identified three branches: physical or biological, social and archaeological anthropology. So these are the three branches of anthropology according to British school of thought. But according to American school of thought, which was basically these four fields were given by Franz Boas, who gave these four main branches like physical, cultural, linguistic anthropology and archaeological anthropology. So according to British school of thought, three branches are there. According to American school of thought, four branches are there, and these four branches were given by Franz Boas. Now in order to bridge the gap between these two, socio-cultural anthropology was introduced. So earlier it was social anthropology and cultural anthropology, even books were in that direction. Now both of them are interdependent and inseparable, so they started socio-cultural anthropology. So physical or biological, linguistic, archaeological. So now widely recognized branches are these ones. So don't write socio-cultural anthropology was given by Franz Boas. Even after saying so many times, people continue to write this one. And some of the books you would have found, like Franz Boas gave 4 branches and they will write socio-cultural also. But Franz Boas gave only cultural anthropology. This is something which you have to note. So socio-cultural anthropology came into existence in order to bridge the gap between British school and American school. So socio-cultural anthropology deals with the study of society and culture across time and space, and different fields or different sub-branches under socio-cultural anthropology. Earlier we have seen, no, what are they? Familial, economic, political, anthropology of religion, developmental anthropology. Here we have also written ecological, we have also written epidemiological, and you can also write medical also if you want. So these are different sub-branches under socio-cultural anthropology. So please write socio-cultural anthropology. Socio-cultural anthropology is the study of societies and cultures across time and space. Put the side heading sub-branches or scope. First one is familial anthropology. Familial. It studies about various aspects of marriage, family, kinship, descent, marriage, family, various aspects of marriage, family, kinship, descent, and how they are practiced in different societies. Next, economic anthropology. Economic anthropology. It studies various economic activities, subsistence patterns, principles governing production, distribution and exchange, principles governing production, distribution, exchange. In simple and modern societies. I am saying only like syllabus only I am saying, isn't it? I am not deviating from anything what is there in the syllabus. Next one, political anthropology. Political anthropology. It studies different types of political organizations, law and justice, political organizations, law and justice, means of social control, etc. in various societies. So you can simply write the syllabus, that is what. I am just briefing the syllabus. Yes, next one, anthropology of religion. Anthropology of religion. So what did we study? It studies variability of religious beliefs, magico-religious functionaries, magico-religious functionaries, and how religion influences the lives of people. Next, developmental anthropology. It studies development-related aspects and their impact in various societies. Ecological anthropology. It studies cultural adaptations of people in different environmental conditions. Next one, epidemiological anthropology. Epidemiological. There also we study these three. Biocultural studies these are. So there is influence of biology, there is influence of culture also. You getting my point? Say for example, people living in cold climatic conditions are adapted to having some kind of particular food or housing or clothing. In hot climatic conditions, they practice something else. So these are biocultural studies. Both aspects are important here. Epidemiological anthropology. It studies the role of cultural habits in origin and spread of diseases. So simple thing you take, say for example, nutrition only you take. Those who are like purely vegetarian may often suffer from a protein deficiency. So even diseases are response to the climate and the environment and the other cultural habits in which an individual is present. Medical anthropology. It studies cultural understandings of various groups on the concepts of health and disease. It also studies cultural practices in diagnosis, treatment, and prevention of a disease. So people have their own way, isn't it? Earlier we have seen certain things. So this is socio-cultural anthropology. Next, put the side heading relevance or applications. The understanding society, culture, human behavior helps us to understand the local needs, local beliefs, local practices. By understanding them, we are able to formulate policies and programs which are cultural sensitive and cultural appropriate. And as a result, it could bridge the gap between development practitioners and the local people, facilitate communication, evaluate the impact of various developmental projects. Like maybe you would have heard about environmental impact assessment. A sociologist or an anthropologist or a socio-cultural scientist does a social impact assessment. So whenever developmental projects are implemented, it is important to assess the environmental impact as well as social impact, because there is a need to address the local people also who are displaced from their habitat, isn't it? Anywhere, like it could be rural areas or tribal areas, or it can be like modern places also, like urban areas also, because always displacement leads to certain issues. In urban areas, you have lot of it draws the attention of the media, but in the small villages and tribal people, their voices remain unheard. Neither media is interested, nor politicians or even administrators are also interested, and isn't it? So it is important that social impact assessment as well as environmental impact assessment has to be done, and that social impact assessment is done by socio-cultural anthropologists, or maybe sociologists or social scientists. Yes. So please write. It helps us to understand local customs, traditions, and beliefs, and thereby it can help in formulating policies, programs, and schemes which are culturally sensitive and culturally appropriate. Next point. Identifying local needs helps in developing customized models for planning and implementation. You see, many a times, not only in India but elsewhere also, the approach is one size fits all solution. You develop something and then you implement the same thing across every society. Like say for example, you take education. The same education policy is applicable uniformly to the children and along the length and breadth of the country. But the things are different when it comes to tribal areas. The things may be different when it comes to rural areas, who may not have access to quality education, and they may not be able to appreciate what they are reading. Like say for example, tribal people who live close to the environment hardly appreciate, their children hardly appreciate our polity, history or geography, because they are unable to relate. Even if you are also reading something which you are unable to relate, obviously you will not appreciate it, but out of compulsion or something, you may study now, isn't it? Like you are studying a wide variety of subjects. Maybe sometimes tribal people, tribal children are hardly able to appreciate the national model or the state model of studies, because they are not able to relate to it. Even if you are also not able to relate, then hardly you appreciate it, and you also find it difficult to learn. Maybe because you are studying a wide variety of subjects like polity, history, geography. Some people will connect to something. Maybe he is good at history and he does history better than other subjects. Maybe you are good at polity. Maybe doctor is good at environment, science and technology, geography, these kind of things. So it is subjective. Now this one size fits all solution, if you are implementing uniformly, it is a very problematic situation. No matter whether it is at a micro level or macro level. Even within family, you see, there could be several siblings and every sibling have their own interest, isn't it? So understanding or identifying individual or local needs is essential for developing customized models. Many of them you can see in any plan, program or stream, even though the suggestions are in the direction of customization, hardly any customization is done. But to overcome such kind of problems, government has implemented decentralization so that people at the local level will identify and address them. Earlier it was centralization. Decentralization is establishment of panchayats and municipalities. For what? For better administration at grassroots level. Why? Because they are able to identify their need. A village panchayat is able to identify their needs and develop programs or implement programs or policies, isn't it? So within centralization there is some type of decentralization also. Within decentralization there is again a type of centralization. But what I mean to say is that anthropological studies or any socio-cultural studies or any study which deals with the study of society and culture helps to overcome the challenges, helps in implementing development schemes. So that is what it means, isn't it? So it helps in developing a custom-based model, addressing the local need. If you have some need and I address something else, obviously you will be irritated with it, or maybe it is not serving the purpose, isn't it? So that is the thing. Next one. It also tries to bridge the gap between primitive societies and modern societies, bridge the trust deficit between development practitioners and the local people. And that is on an account of various reasons. I think you are quite mature to understand this. So there is a trust deficit everywhere, isn't it? Particularly the people in the administration or the people in governance, there is also a trust deficit. So there is a trust deficit between rural people and the urban people. There is a trust deficit between tribal people and non-tribal people. Everywhere there is a trust deficit, and that is increasing day by day. And that is on an account of various things, because it is because of lack of accountability or lack of transparency, isn't it? As a result, there is a growing trust deficit. The more it grows, the more negative consequences one should face, isn't it? So particularly this will help to bridge that trust deficit, isn't it? Maybe like one example I'll give you, like you take medical anthropology or like maybe medicine. The primitive people are like, maybe they are resorting to some kind of superstitious beliefs, simple societies or tribal societies, even some rural areas. But urban areas and modern societies believe in established medical system, isn't it? They are thinking that a disease is caused by supernatural beings or evil spirits. Modern societies are considering that it is because of pathogen or lifestyle related disorders. So because of this gap, you cannot implement modern medical system in tribal areas. And obviously modern people will not borrow the practices of tribal people when it comes to superstitious beliefs, isn't it? Such is the thing. Like earlier, I'll give you one example. You know polio, no? Which is now eradicated because of the vaccine, and it was a long process. So earlier, I think you quite early, like Doordarshan and other times, when TV was only like a rarity, and radios and some folklores. So the paramedical staff and medical staff, government medical staff, and they go to every village, every hamlet. They put the polio drops and sometimes injection. Drops came later. First it was injection. So they used to inject this polio vaccine to the children. So after giving a vaccine, the body's response, the child would suffer from fever for a couple of days, and obviously the pain of injection will cause some pain, and the baby starts crying. So mothers in rural areas and even in urban areas also, because lack of awareness, they used to take their babies and run into the houses to prevent this vaccination. So as a result, many of them were suffering. It took even for the government to create lot of awareness so that people will voluntarily come and then they give the vaccine to their baby. So such kind of things. So anthropology can help in minimizing these kind of gaps, isn't it? Without social scientists, social problems cannot solve. An anthropologist is definitely a social scientist. Sociologists are also social scientists. You get my point? So obviously it is very to understand the cultural practices, their traditions, beliefs, and the manner in which they respond to modern things, so that you can help them lead a better life, isn't it? Otherwise, if a person starts suffering from polio or gets affected by polio, has to suffer all throughout, isn't there? It's a point of no return. But just by that polio drop or injection, it could have been easily prevented. So it took people also to understand and then voluntarily come out, and that is why finally, I think recently only we eradicated polio. It started like 80s or 70s. It's a very, rigorous process. Now I think everyone, vaccine means everyone is, after birth, it is done periodically, isn't it? So that is the thing. Next point. So what did you write? Facilitate? Please write. It helps to facilitate communication facilitate communication and enhance communication between development practitioners and the local people. It also helps in evaluating the impact of various developmental projects and various processes like globalization, urbanization, industrialization in various societies. Next, it helps in conflict resolution and peace building, promoting unity, integrity, and harmony. So these are some aspects of relevance or applicability of socio-cultural anthropology. So these are main. The other aspects what we study are minor, because linguistic anthropology we are studying in only chapter 7, and archaeological anthropology we are studying in 1.8, that to one section, world perspective, and 1.1, 1.2, 1.3 is very brief compared to the actual reality. The what you have in the syllabus is very less. So next one is linguistic anthropology. It deals with the study of linguistic aspects of human beings across time and space. You write like this: according to Alfred L. Kroeber, culture is not hereditary. It has to be learnt and taught by means of language. Linguistic anthropology studies across time and space, linguistic aspects of human beings across time and space. Put the side heading scope or sub-branches. Earlier we have seen historical linguistics, we have seen social linguistics, structural linguistics, ethno-semantics, psycholinguistics. So earlier we have discussed that historical linguistics deals with the origin and development of language over a period of time and the subsequent variations. Social linguistics studies about social variations in language. Structural linguistics deals with the study of morphemes, phonemes, and syntax, which is grammar. Ethnosemantics deals with the study of meanings of the words in different socio-cultural contexts. I have given you the example of moksha, nirvana, and kaivalya. Then psycholinguistics is, you have asked, it's acquisition of language as a dynamic neurological phenomenon. So please write historical linguistics. It deals with the study of origin and evolution of language from past to present. Social linguistics. It deals with the study of social variations in language. It deals with the study of morphemes, phonemes or phonetics, syntax or grammar. Next, ethnosemantics, the meanings of the words in different cultural contexts. For example, moksha in Hinduism, nirvana in Buddhism, kaivalya in Jainism. Psycholinguistics, it studies acquisition of language as a dynamic neurological phenomena. Next, relevance or application. See, maybe hardly you will be able to appreciate what you are reading now again, because you don't have these in your syllabus. So obviously it can help in mass propaganda or communication, because communication is very key and essential, and in order to reach to the audience or a student or even to the public, communication plays an important role. And it has to be accepted that if communication fails or communication is poor, the growth of individual also is curtailed. What are different ways of communication? Oral communication, how effectively you are speaking. While you are speaking, whether the other person is able to understand or not. Writing, how effectively you are conveying the things. And many a times for presumed notions or something, people actually forget simple way of communication. They go for a complex way of communication. I think I told you some people are writing long, lengthy sentences, like almost one-page sentence. It loses its effectiveness, isn't it? Maybe in order to reach a larger public or larger crowd, you have to speak in a simple manner, because people will be having various levels of intellectuality, grasping power, and as a result it is very important to find a moderate path. Maybe everyone talks like Shashi Tharoor, who has a very good command on vocabulary, you hardly will be able to understand. So there is need to lower down whenever you are at a higher level to reach to the public. Maybe you become an IAS officer, you speak like very high standard, then obviously you will not reach. You can see any effective person, particularly while speech, they speak very slowly so that they reach effectively to the others, and they will always select simple words. Simple is more effective, complex is least effective. So whatever I am suggesting you in your answer writing or anything, you have to follow that there is a philosophy behind it, and that this is not only for you to succeed in this exam, beyond that one. You get my point? So it is important that communication should be effective, it should be very clear, simple, succinct, to the point, instead of beating around the bush. And obviously, like linguistic anthropology emphasizes on this, it emphasizes how culture influences language and how language is also influencing culture, because they are inseparable. No language, no language, no culture, no culture, no language. Because language is required for culture to be transmitted from one generation to another generation, and that is what we have started with, that culture is not hereditary, it has to be learnt and taught by means of communication, that is language. I omitted communication, I directly have written language. You get my point? Now obviously it helps to like reach to the people, like any advertisement agency or company or those who want to reach to the public as a whole, they take these things into consideration. So mass propaganda, communication, or maybe for selling of a product, it is easier said than done. Even though you know principles, you may have to have people to actually execute it properly. So it's again not an individual thing, it's a team effort. Now an individual thing here is I am delivering lecture to you. Now it totally depends on me how effectively I make you understand, isn't it? So here it is a one man show, but if it is related to a particular organization or institution or any other company, it is a teamwork, because everywhere I can't go and convince people, isn't it? So communication plays an important role, and you people also should make sure that you communicate effectively. It starts from your home only. Many students come and say, sir, my parents, just now they started their preparation, and then they will come and say, sir, my parents are asking me when will you become IAS. Are you started just 2-3 months back. So whose failure is it? The student is unable to communicate properly to their parents. No parents will actually discourage their children, isn't it? But the student has failed to effectively communicate with their parents. As a result, within 2-3 months only, parents are asking when you are becoming. Some girl students are coming and saying, sir, my parents are trying to marry. This is because of lack of communication. You are not able to communicate properly while writing answers. You are not able to communicate properly with teachers, your friends, isn't it? Particularly communication, some places it should be formal, some places it should be informal. When you know these things, then only you will flourish in your life. Ultimately, what comes from your mouth or what you write on the paper only matters. Otherwise, with body language, you can very stylishly walk here and there without communicating and come back home unharmed or unaffecting other individuals, isn't it? So it's very important. Many people, particularly younger generations, are effectively missing this component. So what you should do? You have to communicate properly. Everyone. It's a complex thing. Linguistic anthropology also is a very complex thing, but in your syllabus they have given only like simple aspects. I am still wondered. I think there is a need to revise UPSC syllabus. I am bored of teaching the same thing over and over again. But anyway, there are more better perspectives to learn from the subject and to actually put them in practice. See, learning theory without putting them in practice obviously takes you nowhere. The essence of any subject is to learn and then apply in the real world or the society or your life for the betterment of an individual or the society. Otherwise, there is what is the point? You are going to a personality test and interviewers are asking you how anthropology is useful in administration. What is this question? This is simple applicability. So whoever tests, they'll test you on applicability. And for whatever you have acquired, it has to be communicated properly for your growth or success. Otherwise, it will not. So in this point, I will connect to the thing which I have told you yesterday, like grammatical mistakes, spelling mistakes, no proper punctuation. All these, I think now makes sense, isn't it? Because communication gets affected if you write wrong spellings. Communication gets affected if your grammar is wrong. If I am speaking like half-cooked language, how will it be? You will say that sir speaks wonderful, very fluent. It gives an opportunity to make fun of ourselves. So, spellings, grammar, punctuation, an effective, simple and clear, to the point communication is essential. So, what I mean to say, by studying linguistic anthropology, it helps in propaganda, advertisement, maybe removing obstacles in speech or communication. Maybe sometimes it helps in speech therapy also. You get to my point? And there are some people who stammer. Maybe some people have that shyness of speaking. Maybe if I ask, I think I can expose you in 2 minutes. If I ask, like, what is your name? Vijay, to come and deliver like speech for 2 minutes, he may crumble. Why? There are some personal inhibitions, or maybe he is not confident, or he doesn't have enough content to say, or what to say. Not necessarily so, he may come and talk also, that's a different thing, but I am assuming that he may be low in confidence, isn't it? So these are all some things which obviously can be understood by studying linguistic chronology. There are other aspects also. There are lexicolinguistics or comparative linguistics, glottochronology, comparative, so many things are there. But in your thing, we can see some brief aspects which is relevant to what you are studying, and maybe you will be able to appreciate them while you are writing. Studying something, learning something which obviously cannot relate to, obviously cannot write in the exam also, because there is no logical coherence, isn't it? So here again, one more aspect I have to say, like people say that I'll by heart, I'll memorize. It doesn't work like that. You never by hearted anything which you retain for a longer time. By heart or memorizing is like, I think, very abstract way of learning something. You learn in a systematic manner, you find the logical coherence between what you are learning and the statements or the content, you excel. You try to memorize or by heart abstractly, then obviously like it's a problematic, isn't it? So please write relevance or application. It helps to remove obstacles in communication or barriers in speech. Remove obstacles in communication or barriers in speech. It can help in developing speech therapy. It enables to understand the impact of culture on language and vice versa. Culture on language and vice versa. It also helps in mass propaganda. Next, it can also help develop script for those languages which do not have a script of their own. Next one, archaeological anthropology. So please write. Archaeological anthropology studies across time and space. It examines, analyzes, and evaluates various archaeological findings, which include artifacts, ecofacts, features with the side heading sub-branches or scope. Earlier we have seen like prehistoric archaeological anthropology, text-aided archaeological anthropology. I think at that time I have discussed what is prehistoric archaeological anthropology, and I gave some insights on prehistory, proto-history and history. Prehistory refers to Stone Age like Paleolithic, Mesolithic and Neolithic. And then text free, so it studies about those societies which do not have a script of their own. Text aided, who have a script of their own. Then we have studied salvage, which deals with the conservation and protection of various archaeological findings. Then we have ethno-archaeology. So what is ethno-archaeology? It's a combination of two fields, ethnography and archaeology. studying the contemporary societies in order to reconstruct the past, isn't it? I think I have given you example of bow and arrow, considering that you don't know how it is made and what is the purpose of bow and arrow. If you have found that one in an archaeological excavation, then maybe in a contemporary tribal society or somewhere you have seen bow and arrow which is used for hunting, and you also know how it is prepared. So likewise you are able to reconstruct the past by studying contemporary societies. So that is ethnoarchaeology. So please write scope or sub branches. First one is prehistoric archaeological anthropology. It involves the study of prehistoric stages like Paleolithic, Mesolithic and Neolithic.